Hello, and welcome to my solo playthrough of the dark fantasy RPG Ker Nethalas Into the Midnight Throne by Black Oath Entertainment, aka Alex T. As you may have guessed, this is going to be my first ever tabletop RPG. I'm very familiar with what Dungeons and Dragons is and um, the sort of long history of tabletop games, but I have actually never played one. And until recently, I didn't know that you could play them solo. So when I learned this fact, it was kind of mind blowing to me and immediately made me want to try at least once to play through one. But hopefully, this will be the beginning of many solo RPGs. So I'm going to do my best to get through this. And I apologize in advance for numerous mistakes that I will probably make. And I really appreciate anyone pointing out mistakes and helping me to cut my teeth, as it were, in solo tabletop RPGs. So I actually discovered Ker Nethalas about 2 weeks ago. Somehow, a video by Geek Gamers, the Geek Gamers channel, appeared in my YouTube feed, and it was for a solo tabletop RPG, which I have never seen the existence of before on YouTube. I had no idea, and no videos have ever been recommended to me. So that was kind of a big surprise. And when I checked it out, I was immediately interested. So what struck me about Ker Nethalas is really the strong similarity to some of my favorite computer role-playing games and video games, especially Diablo and Wizardry. The game has a very strong theme, really just great art style, and I'm generally more drawn to the darker game worlds, a little bit grittier, and I like the survival aspect as well. And the way that the storytelling is presented through the sort of descriptions of items and creatures in places, rather than, say, front loading pages and pages of history. I really like the way it's presented, and I would say that it's very well balanced. There's a really good balance of different elements. There's not too much of anything, so really very well crafted, very strong themes, and very detailed without being completely overwhelming. Though I will say, being my first tabletop RPG, it does feel pretty overwhelming, and it's tough to play it quickly, but hopefully I will get better as we go on. But yeah, I'm very impressed with this. Really, really like the game so far. And I have played a little bit of the game. I created a character and went through the tutorial dungeon. And this is my first character here, Duncan Payne. Kind of a paladin type character. And I went with bludgeoning weapons, Morningstar, and for his masteries, I have the Weapon Master and the Zealot. And it was a lot of fun to play. I went through the tutorial dungeon, and then also I went through a few rooms in the main first domain, and had a lot of fights, and got a little bit of experience and kind of learned my way around the game a little bit. And really, it was a blast. It was so much fun. And hopefully I learned close to the right way to play. So we will see. So I want to talk a little bit about the setup for this game now. In a minute here, we're going to run through the character creation. And this is my character here, Eddie the Razor, using the excellent art of Katsuya Terada here. And you might be able to guess that he is going to be something of a thief or a stealthy type character, a rogue. And I have here his character sheet. And so what I've gone ahead and done is set up his goals, his skills, his starting weapon, and his masteries. But I have not rolled any of his starting stats, so we're going to do that together. But let me introduce him here first. So for his goals, I have Overseer Overthrown, which is a goal or request to eliminate one Overseer, and you will earn an amulet. I think the amulet can let you add a third mastery or swap out one of your other masteries. I'm not totally sure on that. And then there is the Living Shadow, which you need to surprise 50 enemies, and you will get the Living Shadow perk, which just makes you more deadly as a stealthy character. So for the starting weapon, I selected the dagger. It's a bladed weapon. The dagger has a speed of 10, quickness of 10, and it's piercing. And what the speed of 10 does is it allows you to add 10 to your bladed weapon skill, I believe, when you're using the dagger. What quickness does is that you can add 10 to your initiative checks. And then piercing, if I'm understanding the rulebook correctly, if you win the initiative check, so if you have the first strike in the combat, you get +1 damage. I'm not quite sure if I understand that, but I believe that's how it goes. Okay, and then for masteries, the first one is Duskblade, and the passive skill with that is a +2d4 damage when you're attacking an unaware target. So obviously we're going to be trying to stealth and surprise enemies. And the tier 1 skill for that is a Poison Blade, which at the cost of 3 Aether, that allows you to throw a venomous blade that can poison your target. And then the other mastery I have is Tracker. And that's what Tracker is going to do, is give you an advantage on scavenging and perception checks. So if, for example, you roll a 26, you could swap the position of that to make it 62. And that's going to be really handy, especially in the perception checks, because I think with this character, we want to try to attack first. And then the tier 1 skill with the Tracker is the Edible Fungi. And that's going to allow you to receive 1 cooking supply every time that you have a successful scavenging check. Okay, now we're going to roll our starting stats. And I have here a table that shows us what to go through here. So we're going to start with the health, and that's going to be a d6 + 8. So let's roll that. So, got a 6. So we're going to start with 14 health. And now we're going to roll toughness, which is 2d6 + 10. And we got a 3. So that's going to be 13. And then Aether, that's going to be d6 + 8. So 4 and 8. It's going to give us 12 for our Aether. And Sanity is going to be d6 + 8. So 4 again. So 12 again for our Sanity. So there we have our starting stats. 14 health, 13 toughness, 12 aether, 12 sanity. And now Eddie the Razor is good to go and enter into the dungeon of Ker Nethalas. Thank you guys very much for joining me. In the next episode, we will begin Eddie's adventure. And the goal is going to be to defeat one overseer or die trying. So we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.